You ever have one of those days where you're just so swamped and all you really want is a good, home-cooked meal? But you just don't have the time or the energy to make it yourself. I'm not talking about just any food, but something that genuinely tastes like it was made with love. Well, let's dive right in, because we're going to look at a service in St. Louis that's tackling that exact problem head on. For so many of us, this question, what's in the lunchbox today? Man, it just brings back a flood of memories, right? It's that little thrill of excitement, opening up a meal that you know is packed with care. It's that feeling of home, of comfort, and yeah, a little bit of a happy surprise. And that is exactly the feeling we're digging into today. So here's the classic dilemma, right? We've all been there. On one side, you've got restaurant food. Yeah, it's convenient for sure, but it can also be heavy, kind of oily. You get sick of the same old options. And then there's all the fees and tips. But on the other side, you've got home cooking. It's healthy, it's fresh, it's made with care, but let's be real. It takes a ton of time and energy that most of us just don't have at the end of a long day. So what's the solution? What's the middle ground? Well, for the community in St. Louis, the answer might just be a service called Marathi Meals on Wheels, or MMOW for short. Let's take a look at how they're bridging that gap between convenience and that amazing home-cooked quality. Okay, so the heart of this whole service is the dabba. Now, if you're not familiar with the term, a dabba is so much more than just takeout. It's a whole, complete, multi-part meal that's cooked at home and, packed with real care. It's basically the exact opposite of some generic mass-produced restaurant meal. And this is where things get really interesting, because MOW isn't a restaurant in the traditional sense. Think of them more like a community coordinator. What they do is connect you, the customer, with local independent home chefs, people who are genuinely passionate about making authentic food. It's like a direct line from a real home kitchen right to your dinner table. So you might be wondering, who is this really for? Well, it turns out it's for a whole lot of people. You've got seniors and their caregivers who want something mild and reliable. It's a total lifesaver for busy professionals looking for a healthy fallback plan. It's perfect for new parents or anyone recovering from an illness who needs something gentle and fresh. And, of course, it's for anyone who's just missing that authentic vegetarian Marathi cooking. All right, so what do you actually get when you order? Well, the portions are super generous. A typical meal comes with 4 chapatis, a 16-ounce container of dal for your protein, another 16 ounces of a vegetable dish or sabji, plus 16 ounces of steamed rice. And you even get a little salad or side. Get this, one order is designed to easily feed 2 adults for a whole meal. That's some serious value right there. Okay, so let's say you're in. You're curious. How does this whole thing actually work? Let's walk through the entire experience, from the kitchen all the way to your doorstep. It's a really straightforward 3-step process, super easy. First, you just pick your days and how much you want for the next week, and you do that before the Saturday cutoff. Step 2, on your delivery day, the home chefs get up and cook everything fresh that morning. And third, your meal just shows up at your door in the afternoon or evening. Simple as that, no fuss at all. A huge part of this whole experience is actually knowing who is making your food. It adds that personal touch. So let's meet one of the chefs, Monica Patangar. This kind of connection, you're just not going to get that from some faceless delivery app, right? And just listen to this quote from Chef Monica. Flavors that hug you. Wow. That just says everything, doesn't it? It's so clear that this isn't just about selling food. It's about sharing that warmth, that comfort you only find in a family kitchen. That's the real philosophy behind every single bite. So let's talk a little more about her cooking approach, because it's all about quality. Everything is 100% vegetarian. She uses things like fresh ground masalas and good quality cold-pressed oils. The spice level is usually mild to medium, but you can ask for adjustments. And her philosophy is so simple and honest. Give people good portions and never, ever compromise on freshness. All right, so the idea sounds great, but does it actually deliver? The real test is what the customers think. So the best way to find out is to hear directly from the people who are actually getting these meals. Let's see what the community is saying. Okay, this first comment really gets to the heart of it. Coming home to home-cooked food has given us some time with the kids in the evenings. That's huge. It's such a powerful benefit, right? It shows it's not just about dinner. It's about buying back that precious time with your family. And check this one out. You can really see the appreciation for the chef's skill here. Bakri was amazing. Hats off to chef for making soft bakris. Now, if you've ever tried to make a bakri at home, you know it is not easy to get them soft like that. So this kind of feedback shows that people really notice and value the authenticity and the sheer effort that goes into making these traditional dishes the right way.
And this last one, it just captures the feeling perfectly. Nothing beats the solace of homemade Maharashtrian food. The part in Marathi basically translates to everything is perfect, balanced, simple, and satisfying. And that really says it all. It's about that deep, soul-level satisfaction you can only get from a true comfort meal.
Now, here's a really important detail. This service is still a pilot program. And what's cool about that is it means they're constantly listening and evolving based on what the community wants. Like, for example, they heard people needed more time to order, so they moved the weekly deadline from Thursday to Saturday. It just goes to show they're really building this thing with their customers, not just for them. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. If you're in the St. Louis area and this is sounding pretty good to you, here are the key details you'll need to know to get your own dabba. So here's the quick rundown. First thing, remember to get your order in by Saturday at noon for the next week. They deliver in about a 15 to 20-mile radius around O'Fallon, Missouri, and that happens in the afternoon or evening. When it comes to payment, Zelle is the easiest way to go. And if you have any questions, your best bet is to send a text rather than call. And I know you're wondering about the price. The main thing to know is that it's all-inclusive. This is huge. There are no hidden fees, no surprise service charges, no extra delivery costs popping up at the end. The price you see is the price you pay. It covers the food, the operations, and the delivery straight to your door. Totally transparent and straightforward. So, really, if you're in the St. Louis area and you are just done with that choice between unhealthy takeout and cooking for hours, this service leaves you with a pretty simple question, doesn't it? What are you still waiting for?